You went through a lot of adversity very early on, both personally and professionally.
Pretty much almost immediately when I started with you, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. Mom's health was getting worse, so I was kind of taking time away from work to take care of Mom.
So you had every reason to pack it in at that point.
Yeah, so one of the things that always kept me going, I've seen what the end goal in this business looks like.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I always like to say is begin with the end in mind. That vision that I had always kind of kept me, I was like, I can do it. I just got to get through. I got to get through and I can do it. Like something's going to happen. Just like stick it out.
Hey, we're back in the Greatness Factory for another episode of Just Like That, Only Different. I've got Travis Goveia in the house, the bull rider from Downs, Illinois. You won't want to miss this one. We are back. We are back at the Greatness Factory, Nashville, Tennessee, the Coach G podcast. I'm excited for this one today.
Gonna be a good one.
You've been my day one. Never forget your first. Travis Goveia in the house from Downs, Illinois. If you don't know where Downs, Illinois is, tell everybody, where's Downs, Illinois?
I always say it's right in between Chicago and St. Louis. Bloomington is probably the first place you've heard of.
Yeah.
Headquarters for State Farm, Illinois State.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes from there.
And you're down here for the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
We got your lovely wife, your pregnant wife. We got Devonator here, his wife. So we're going to have a good old time this weekend.
For sure.
How many times have you been in Nashville so far?
I got to be over 10 now, I think.
10 times.
10 times.
Yeah.
Got to be over 10.
And there's some whispers that you're moving to Nashville. At the time of this recording, we are December 2025. If you had to predict, where will you be December 2026?
If I had to predict, I'd say I'm going to be in, what's the county down there?
Dixon County.
Dixon County.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be in Dixon County, Tennessee.
Okay. So that's the future. Let's talk about the past a little bit.
Let's do it.
Let's rewind it back to when, Trav, how tall are you? How big are you?
Now I'm about 6'3".
6'3"?
Yeah.
And also known as the bull rider. Talk to us, why does everyone call you the bull rider?
Actually, I don't even know how I got that nickname.
It's from the meme. It's like the
$7 million bull rider. There we go. That's what it's from. There we go.
So Trav nicknamed the bull rider, but we're gonna take it back to when you're growing up and just get to know you a little bit for our listeners and those that don't know. Trav, he is our national sales director. He's been the first agent I ever hired and worked with. We have thousands of agents now, so Trav's been with me since day one, and we got a lot of stories to talk about. We'll try to unpack them, but I want to know, and I'm excited because there's probably some things I'll learn today. Talk to us about what it was like growing up as Travis Goveia. Big family, right?
Big family, yep. So I'm one of 5 boys. My brothers are 13, 10, and 7 years older than me, and then I have a twin brother. So it was definitely interesting growing up. So really from the time I can start remember, my oldest brother was already graduated, moved out, was in college. But I always do remember my other 2 older brothers. So that's David and Kevin. They were like my babysitters growing up, and me and my twin brother, we always butt heads. I always say we butt heads. We're best friends, but you wouldn't really be able to tell.
Yeah.
We still butt heads.
Yeah.
So we were doing that when we were younger, but.
So you're the youngest.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
He's 6 minutes older.
Okay. And growing up in a house full of boys, do you feel how did that shape you? What was that like growing up?
Yeah, it is. I don't want to say a hostile environment, but it creates everything's always competitive.
Yeah.
With guys. So now what I'll say is we're all very, very different. So,
yeah.
And I'm kind of the one that I'd say sticks out like a sore thumb. So was always doing sports, and we always joke. So I'm the only one in my family that didn't get above a 30 on the ACT. Everyone else is super freaky smart.
Yeah.
And I was just playing sports and.
Yeah. But you're still smart. You got an MBA, didn't you?
Yeah. Got my master's in business.
Yeah.
So I do brag on that because I think I'm the only one out of my family that did get
master's,
my master's. Yeah.
Yep. So growing up, bunch of boys, mom and your dad growing up were close, big influences?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, so they were, I always remember so my dad is a veteran, he was in the Army. When I was younger, had a few different jobs, and then kind of settled in at State Farm and retired at State Farm. Mom did a lot of things, finished up as like she was one of my substitute teachers all the time. I was very involved in the community. And one of my favorite things with my parents is like no matter where I was playing sports at, they're going to be there. So
yeah. They always showed up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And what all sports did you do growing up? Everything?
Oh yeah. So growing up when I was younger, wrestling. I did cross country, track, baseball, basketball, football.
Holy smokes, everything.
Yeah, I did that all the way through middle school, and then in high school they make you choose like what you're going to do in that season. So I can do multiple. So finished with football, basketball, and baseball.
Yeah. I mean, can you pick anything out like before you're 10 years old that led to the discipline and all this stuff? I mean, you do anything outside of sports? Like, were there a lot of chores? Like, was your family a disciplined household? Was it loose?
I'd say it was pretty disciplined.
Yeah.
It was a mix. So some things were pretty loose. Like I always joke, kids nowadays don't understand it. Like our rules when I was growing up was be home when the street lights are on.
Yeah.
Right? If you remember the same when you were growing up. But,
yeah.
So that was like my loosest rule. Okay.
Yeah.
You can like go out, play with your friends, do whatever, be home when the street lights are on. But then as far as when you're at home, yeah, there was chores to do. I mean, mowing the yard and making sure like if they give you a job to do, you got to do your job.
Yeah.
And then, I always say, like, we had some different, like, disciplinary things from our parents. Nose on the door was my least favorite.
What's that?
It was just, if you got in trouble, like, let's just say that door right there.
Yeah.
Go put your nose on the door until Dad says it's time.
Okay.
And you didn't want to put your nose on the door.
Yeah.
And it was not fun. So I didn't want to put my nose on the door.
Never tried that.
No.
I go home and put my nose on the door and say, make my daughter.
It's like their family's all hanging out watching TV or doing whatever, and it's like you're over there, nose on the door.
So you're about to be a new dad. Are you going to bring back nose on the door?
I think nose on the door is going to be.
It's in play?
Yeah.
It's in play? Okay. Well, 10 through 13 or 9 through 13, you've heard me say that many times that those are very influential years of your life. And I learned that from Rene Rodriguez. And usually you have a very positive person in your life. He calls that a lighthouse, or you have a foghorn, a really negative experience in your life that shapes you. It sounds like it was a lighthouse for you. Were there any foghorns or anything that shaped you in those 9 to 13 years?
No, I mean, so we had a big family. We're just, I'd say we're like an average, we weren't rich, weren't like poor. So it was just, I had a good experience with my family, loved my parents, loved my brothers. And then again, being in a small community, I live right across the street from a park. So it was, I got to hang out with my family, got to go play over at the park, got to come home and hang out with my family. So I had no real like negative experiences. Yeah. Not that I can think of growing up.
Which makes sense because you're like one of the most positive people I know.
Yeah, like being positive.
Good morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 9 to 13, all lighthouses, all positive. That carried into your high school years. So talk to us about high school. I mean, it sounds like sports was a big driver in your life. Was there anything else that was influential in your life in those early years?
Yeah. So love sports, but then I always think about this. So when I was in middle school, I was kind of like shorter and thicker. I wasn't very athletic yet. Yeah. I did all the sports. I wasn't very athletic yet. Then from my 8th grade year to my freshman year, I hit my growth spurt. I grew like 10 inches in one summer. It was pretty crazy. And so I was like, I thought very highly of myself. Yeah. And when I got to high school, I got put in my place pretty quickly. And so I thought like sports was everything. And I kind of acted that way a little bit. And so, my high school football coach, with him, it's never really about football, but there's so many like different life lessons that you go through, like in a football program. And one of the things that when I was that age, when I was a freshman and sophomore, that he really helped me open my eyes to is building relationships with people. So like my sophomore year is kind of when that part of it flipped for me. And one of the things I really wanted to focus on doing, I was playing sports. I was pretty good at sports my sophomore year, but I really wanted to make sure I was like trying to make an impact. It's a small school, right?
Yeah,
so one of the things I started doing my sophomore year is I would go around and give everyone nucks in the lunchroom. Like not a very big lunchroom, so there was like 80 kids probably in my lunch period.
As a freshman, sophomore?
As a sophomore.
Yeah.
Didn't do that as a freshman.
Yeah.
I don't think I was very well.
Like everybody in the school
whoever was in the lunchroom was getting nucks from me.
Yeah.
As a sophomore. So again, I wasn't very well liked as a freshman. And I'm like, well, that's probably because I was very, I don't know what the word would be, self-conceited probably.
Yeah.
For lack of a better terminology for that. So really what I wanted to do was, show that there was a different side of me at that point. And what that was showing people I care about them, want to make their days better. And like you said, I'm a pretty positive guy, so I want to rub that off on other people.
Well, what changed there? I mean, what was there somebody that came into your life and said, hey, this has got to change, like in your freshman year, or the way you're acting, or the self-conceited, as you said? Like, why did that flip?
Yeah, I'd say probably my football coach, Coach Roop, was a huge part of that. Yeah.
And he was a big mentor, leader in your life. Just got inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And do you remember a conversation where he's like, hey, like we got to start doing shit the right way type deal?
Yeah, I mean that I can't remember specifics from the conversation, but yeah, as a 14-year-old freshman, that conversation definitely happened.
Yeah. So that started flipping then, and that was kind of the first time in your life you were introduced to leadership, it sounds like.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's obvious to me, and just talk about it, but sports had a huge impact on you. You were an all-state player, right? Very successful athlete. Were you all-state basketball too?
No, all conference, not all state, yeah.
But you had a lot of success in basically everything you did in high school, and what do you think attributed to that?
There's a lot of, I'd say a lot of different things, but one of my favorite, one of my favorite aspects of it is, when I always joke, so like I was playing sports and my brother's not playing sports. When they're at home, they're working, or my dad has them like teaching them something.
Yeah.
And so I would always joke, like, I just want to stay at practice, like, as long as possible. I don't want to go home, and I don't want to go, like, do work and stuff.
Yeah.
So part of that is, like, I truly enjoyed, like, playing and practicing. And I'd say with that just kind of came a work ethic. And it's, to me, the sports, it was always a game. So, like, I always had fun playing. And I feel like just always having, like, a positive mindset when I'm playing football or playing basketball or whatever it is. That always helped me just stay loose, stay myself, and allowed me to perform at like a pretty high level.
And that, I mean, talk a little more about just sports in general. I mean, in my opinion, everybody that has success, when you peel it back, there's a history of discipline. What did sports teach you that you translate today with you?
Yeah, my first, which I always joke at the office. So. Being on time is a big thing for me. So it's like if you're 10 minutes early, you're on time.
Yep.
And if you're on time, you're late.
Yep.
Is kind of how I always think
Absolutely.
about it. But so time and like showing up and being where you say you're going to be is a big thing. And then as far as actual discipline goes, football is always the most perfect example. It's the ultimate team sport, right?
Yep.
So I could be as good as I want to be at football, but if I am the only one doing my job, the team's not going to be successful. So when you're going through that, ultimately my goal was to be able to help all the other 10 people perform and do their jobs and help them be confident in what they're doing. And what I didn't even realize at the time when all that's going on is you start learning more about the game when you're doing that. And then that also, I always felt like pretty smart football player. And like, I don't know if doing all of that attributed to that, but I'm sure it did. Yeah. Yeah,
I don't think it hurt, no doubt. So, I mean, sports, huge part of your life in high school. What else played a major factor? Anything else in those high school years?
Sports. I mean, See, I'm really trying to think back. Sports.
An average student, it sounded like?
What was that?
You were an average student or a good
average student?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think finished right around 3.0 in high school. Not great, not bad. And then really in our community, I mean, small community, so like everyone knows everyone. So aside from sports, like really enjoyed growing up in that community. Still keep in touch with a lot of people from Downs. I mean, still there right now. So, but just the relationships you build, whether it's with the coaching staff there, the teachers, and then just classmates, friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you ever lived anywhere besides Downs and Decatur then?
No.
Okay. So let's transition on. So you're wrapping up high school, or you're getting recruited to play football, right? Did you know you wanted to play football? Did you know what you wanted to do after high school, or what happened there?
For sure. Yeah, no, I know I wanted to play football. The recruiting process was kind of funky for me a little bit.
Yeah.
I went to some bigger schools, did smaller schools, but then one of my...
What do you mean you went to bigger schools? You were entertaining going to some bigger schools?
Yeah. But I didn't like it, so I came...
To play football or just to go to school?
To play football,
okay.
Yeah.
Which ones?
Well, Illinois State was probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
It was in my backyard.
Yeah, and why didn't you like it?
Again, coming from a small town, small community.
How big's your town?
700.
700.
Yeah.
And the whole town?
Yep. Yeah.
And there's multiple towns that co-op, right?
Yeah,
okay.
So it's technically Downs. Bloomington feeds into our school a little bit.
Okay.
And Ellsworth is the third, yeah.
So you didn't like the big school?
Yeah. Didn't want to just feel like an X or an L. Yeah.
Yeah. So then were you recruited by a lot of small schools too? Yep. And talk me through that process. Why did you go to Milliken?
Yeah. No.
Or how did you land on what you landed on?
Well, yeah. So one of my older brothers went to Milliken. So
I did not know that.
Yeah. And then when I visited there, there's two things. So why I chose Milliken. First thing is the coaching staff. So really, and Coach Etherton, Coach E made me feel very important. And then just like the relationship that I had with them, even when I was still in high school before I ever got there, made me feel very, very good. And then the second part of it was similar to, so when at the time I played at Tri-Valley, I always say we were like building our team, building the culture there. Coach Roop was still very young there. We won our first playoff game in school history when I was a senior, to give you an idea. So I felt like I had played a big role in building the team and building the culture there.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that somewhere else.
Yeah.
And at the time I went to Milliken, it was, I don't know, they were average, middle of the pack, I'd say.
Yeah.
And really thought that is something that I wanted to do and try to accomplish. So those were the two big
what was your
home.
Freshman year was what year?
2013.
Yeah. So I left Milliken in 2011, 2010, 2011. You came in 2013. Okay. So you get into Milliken, and I assume you had some adversity for the first time, maybe?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And let's go back a little bit. Did you ever face any adversity in the high school portion at all? I mean, it sounds like you came right in and you had success in basically all the sports you played.
Yeah, I mean, no, as far as, well, I guess the biggest piece of adversity, which it's so funny when you think of it out loud, is I broke my foot as a sophomore. So I missed all my whole basketball season that year. That was it.
Yeah.
Never got hurt doing anything else.
Yep.
Yeah, that was it.
But then you get into Milliken. And talk us through those first freshman, sophomore years at Milliken.
Yeah, not the biggest kid on the field anymore.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I always remember. You remember Sean Dunning?
Oh yeah.
So I think it was my first full padded practice.
Yeah.
Okay? We're doing an Oklahoma drill, and I go to tackle Sean Dunning, and I always say I slipped and fell. So as I was going to tackle him, but I got knocked out cold.
No kidding. I didn't know this story. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sean Dunning knocked you out.
First full practice as a freshman. Yeah.
Yep. So that was welcome to college football, right?
There we go.
Right.
Yep. And then that was a big wake up call. So really kind of turned it around a little bit after that. And then it's still difficult. I mean, the level or the speed of the game from high school to college it's ridiculous, the change that happens with that. So it's a learning curve. and then getting used to the speed of the game. I'd say that as far as like football goes, that's probably my biggest adversity. But and then you coming from a small school, I'm sure you're the same. Like I came in a little bit with a chip on my shoulder, like, oh, he's just from a small school. Like, I don't know if he can play, but really trying to prove myself in those first few weeks and first year as a freshman.
Yeah. And then did you see the field at all your freshman year?
Started every game. Yeah.
You started as a freshman.
Yeah.
Every game you ever played at Milliken. Well, that one doesn't sound like a whole lot of adversity to me. But for the first time, I mean, knowing what was your record? Were you guys average every year? Or?
So my freshman year, pretty much everyone got hurt. We were starting 8 freshmen on defense.
Yeah.
My freshman year, we went 2-8.
Yeah.
2-8, and then didn't get much better the next year, 3-7. Then I think we went 3-7 again.
Yeah.
Then as a senior, we won 5 games.
Yeah.
So
I mean, most of your college career was losing records. So I mean, kind of going through that adversity. I mean, of coming in trying to rebuild a program and not having winning seasons. I mean, what was that like, and what did you learn from that?
Yeah, it's very difficult. And just thinking back now, I mean, it's really frustrating when you're putting in all this effort, and it's really frustrating when you're not seeing the results that you think you should be getting.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, it's also, I'd say it's really special with college because you have people from all different places in life coming together, and you're trying to come together for one, the same goal.
Yeah.
But some of those people don't necessarily buy in all the time. So it was that I would say was probably my biggest wake-up call, and it's also like a huge challenge when you're trying to, like, from a leadership perspective. So it really just gets you thinking and trying to do different things as far as, building relationships and trying to lead people in different ways. That what I would for sure say is biggest challenge that, at least sports-wise, that I faced in college. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to spend all this time on sports, but this is like really helping me transition and frame kind of the next chapter of your life, right? Because I feel like looking back, since I've known you, because what people don't know is I coached you for a year as part of my coaching journey. And then we ended up meeting again after college. So after college, you went into insurance. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I always tell the story, like, I got to my junior year.
And it wasn't with me. After college, we separated. I coached you for a year. We separated for a couple of years.
Yep.
And then you got into insurance.
So as a junior, I was a health, I don't even know if this is a real major. I was a health, fitness, and recreation major with a nutrition minor. And I got to my end of my junior year, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Yeah, been there.
And so as I'm going into my senior year, I'm like really starting to like think about what I'm going to do. And this is when, like, the beginning of my senior year was like, okay, I think I'm going to get my master's in business. And I ended up doing that at Milliken, but my initial thought was I wanted to be like an athletic director. I wanted to do that, maybe a small college or a big high school, whatever it is. And that was the route that I was really planning on going. And then once I got my master's in business, really fell in love with like the financial side of things.
Yeah.
I'd never really had an interest in that. And so from there, just the first job I took, it was a commission-only insurance sales job. And
did you get recruited? How did that come about?
No, I mean, I applied. I think it was an Indeed or
found it online.
Yep, found it online, and then.
And what attracted you to that?
Really, there was several things, but I'd say like putting in the thing that kept sticking out to me was you'll get out of it what you want to put into it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, I've done all of these things. I played football for 17 years, including like little peewee football.
Yeah.
I played sports. I'm like, okay, well, I can work hard. And
you were confident betting on yourself.
Yeah. And so I took.
But it was a very transparent, like, hey, commission, eat what you kill type deal, and you're going to get out of it what you put in.
Yeah, which it was that was very transparent. What I actually didn't know during the interview process, I didn't know I was going in to sell insurance. I had no idea what I was selling.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like an advertisement, you're selling insurance. It was just, hey, work for this company and you're going to be in sales and eat what you kill.
No idea I was selling insurance. So I just knew it was commission only. My parents wanted to kill me when I told them that. Oh, so commission only. And then I figured out I was selling insurance. Like right when I started, I'm like, okay, we can do this. Yeah.
So you apply, someone calls you, you show up the first day. So if I'm somebody watching this and I'm thinking about getting into insurance, what was that like for you?
Well, honestly, at that point, that was kind of scary because I didn't know I was getting into insurance. But I walk in and there's meetings. We have a big team meeting, and then I'm just like right into.
How many people are in this team meeting?
Well, 8.
Put me in the room.
8 in person, and there was about 14 on Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've had a lot of people in here tell me about that first experience. It's like, it's so old school. Right, you got this big meeting room, a bunch of people on Zoom coming to the team meeting. It's like,
well, I will say, and so you walk into this office, and there's sales awards all over the place, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like,
does it give you that Wolf of Wall Street type of vibe?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so you come in there, and you have a sales meeting. Then what? They just send you through a week of training, then you're on the road, or what?
And it is all just nonsense to me. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on, what they're talking about.
And what was your training like?
Pretty much just got a notebook deal with all the products that they sell, or at least the things they wanted me to focus on, and then going through that. And then, it was just what I started with was final expense and disability insurance.
Yeah.
So, it was not great. So knocking on doors for final expense, and then just walking into businesses and selling disability insurance.
Yeah.
So I had like scripts for that. Here's the product, get to know the product, and there you go. And then the training was just riding along. Here's what we do, here's how we door knock, and then here's how you would walk into a business to try and sell disability insurance.
Yeah. I can't wait to compare that to present day. So you're doing that, and you're selling disability final expense. How long are you doing those two?
I'd say it was probably 5 months.
Yep.
And then it was... I'd say I probably wasn't doing great. And so I noticed that like the other people in the company were selling like Medicare.
Yeah.
And like what's this Medicare stuff all about? And so they started teaching me that, and I'm like, well, I was like, I really think I want to start pivoting towards Medicare. I'm like, people they're turning 65, like it's something. And once I started understanding it, it's like, okay, they're turning 65. They need to get Medicare.
Yeah.
They have to choose something. And
what year was this?
It was still, 2017. Would have been 2017. Yeah.
2017.
Yep.
Okay. So you're starting to pivot to Medicare at that point, and then what? You're back to learning this product, knocking on doors, or what's going on?
Knocking on doors. Had a list of turning 65-year-olds, and would just go around. I had a list. I would just put the list. I had an app that I would use and just make the smartest route. And knocking on doors it's not great.
Yeah.
And then I think during AEP I had did pretty well. I had much better success on Medicare door, like knocking on doors, than final expense. I had a table set up at Walmart.
Yeah.
Was not bad.
Yeah, you did all the typical things that agents do when they get into the business, right?
Yep.
Did all the same things, as did I. I was given a turning 65 list. I knocked on doors, sold Medicare, maybe sold a final expense, maybe attached something. That's just kind of what we were taught. That was the old school model, right?
Yeah.
So you're with this company, we'll keep them unnamed for now.
Yeah.
You're with this company, and then I see you on Facebook or whatever, on some of these leaderboards popping up every now and then. We found out that we were in the same industry. Hey, how you doing? Whatever. Eventually, you reach out and say, "Hey, this isn't working where I'm at. I'm interested in coming with you. Why?"
Yeah, immediately the biggest thing is culture and leadership.
Yeah. So talk about that. Culture and leadership is huge to us right now. That's a massive pillar of what we do.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, a terrible culture, terrible leadership can can have a massive impact on you in an opposite way. So what was that like on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, it was almost, so like the people I was immediately working with, like really enjoyed, and I do still keep in touch with them.
Yeah.
It was just like overall the leadership for that company and what was going on. I mean, they didn't really provide it. They didn't provide anything. I mean, as far as like, leads or anything like that. And then if you wanted leads, you had to pay for it. And just the structure of that company, I'm already getting, just to give you an idea, I was getting 10% on a Medicare supplement. So I'm like getting 10%, but I'm also not getting anything.
Right.
So not great. It's not great in that aspect. And then it was just like, people in that company are like waiting for these changes to happen from the leadership. And it's like, it's never happening. And I was like, okay, well, I won a President's Club, and I'm like, I'm not even happy. I wasn't happy at all. I sold and I was doing well, and I'm like, I was not happy at all. And I was not excited to go to work. I mean, going into our meetings on Monday, I would just like my whole drive there, I'm like have anxiety, and I'm like, I don't want to do this.
And you're in LOA at this point, right?
Yep.
You're in LOA. And I think it's really important because a lot of people watching this may be in LOA, or they may be in a position where they're working with another organization, and maybe that resonates with them. They have anxiety. They don't like going to work. They're making good money, but they're not happy. Why? What was the final tipping point, and what made you decide, okay, enough is enough, I need to find something different?
The tipping point. So again, won a President's Club, and actually I wanted to bring my mom on a trip.
Yeah.
They not let me bring my mom on a trip. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to get my AEP check, and I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And that was it. Again, actually, I didn't know if I was going to stay in the Medicare industry. I was like kind of looking around a little bit, and then, ended up it's like a few months after that.
Yeah.
It's like, let's do it.
Yeah. And that's when you had reached out to me, type of deal.
Yeah.
And then we linked up, and by no means was that the most beautiful transition ever, right? And looking back, I'll take full credit for that. I mean, there wasn't much different that I was offering you besides, in my opinion, good culture and better leadership, right? And that's questionable because at that point in time, all I knew was to knock on doors, turn in 65 lead lists, and we knew how to cross-sell at a high level. Okay, so we had those three things going on, but by no means now, everybody, you work with thousands of agents across the country and have a huge impact. At that point, it was a struggle, right? So talk me through that. I mean, you went through a lot of adversity very early on. I mean, both personally and professionally. And some things we can talk about, some things we can't.
Yeah.
Okay? But you went through a lot of adversity and really, 3 years of working together?
Yeah.
Yep. So talk about starting when you came over to what is now Greening Health and Wealth. What was that like?
Yep. So pretty much right before I left that other company, so my best friend passed away, and then I left, and then as soon as I was like, okay, and then started with you. Pretty much almost immediately when I started with you, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. So that happened, and then I'm trying to. There was also COVID going on at this point too. So we're knocking on doors, and it's COVID. The area I live in, people were not too thrilled, and you show up and just knock on their door. So that made things pretty difficult as well. So then going through that, the first few months were definitely really tricky, and then just as things, as time was going on, even though I felt like work-wise I was doing okay, not great, not bad, but it was what it was. And then just things with mom's health was getting worse, so I was kind of taking time away from work to take care of mom. And then at the same point, we had she was 99 at the time, my grandma, which was my mom's mom, which my mom was taking care of her, but she could no longer take care of her. So then me and my brother were taking care of my grandma. Yeah. There was a lot going on.
Yeah. So you had every reason to pack it in at that point. I mean, a lot of personal issues. Financially, it's not like you were killing it. You were doing fine. What kept you going through the early struggles? Because So at your former company, you come over here, and there's really not a whole lot different in that first year besides a lot more personal issues. So what keeps you going through this year or two of struggle?
Yeah, no, I mean, one of the things there's a few things. So one of the things that always kept me going, I mean, I've seen what the end goal in this business looks like.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I always like to say is begin with the end in mind.
Yeah.
That vision that I had always kind of kept me, I'm like, no, I can do it. I was like, I can do it. I just got to get through. I got to get through, and I can do it. That was one thing. The second thing was you. I believed in you and who you are. And I mean, those were two things. And then actually, I mean, Sarah was a huge part of it. She was like, there was obviously discussions at some point. She's like, I don't want you to leave and quit your job and like go find something else. Like, you have these goals and you have these visions and it's chase. Like, you look up to them. I mean, it's gonna, like, something's gonna happen. Just like stick it out. So those were all big pieces of it. Yeah.
But I mean, in all honesty, it got worse, right? Your mom passes away. God love her. And all these different things happen. I mean, walk me through that.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, after she passed away, it was not good for a while.
Yeah.
Personally, was not doing well. Just a lot of different stuff going on, right? So earlier we were talking about adversity in like different ways. The way I handled adversity was not the way that I was taught to handle adversity.
Right.
So things kept, going downhill, and then, it was one of those things where it's like in football. So I coach football, right? And one of the things I always say is there's things in life that are going to happen where nobody's going to save you. No one's going to save your ass. You got to do it yourself. Yep. And there was a day I woke up and I'm like, what am I doing? So that's kind of what happened. And I always say, like, there's a point in your life where you got to fix like root issues of everything. And just one day I woke up, that's enough, and kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I look back and I honestly can't pinpoint when it was, but all of a sudden, you come out on the other side of things, right? And we talk about it at your wedding. I remember talking about it. I think when I spoke, it's like we were at a point where it literally couldn't get any worse. There was only one way, and that was up. So we're finally starting to find that uphill. We started developing we revamped our agency. I was able to provide true support in an LOA system. We launched a webinar model. We started attracting and bringing on agents. And I think a lot of this, when you look back, all this adversity that you went through really prepared you for what you do today, which is you help thousands of agents across the country build their business and get through those first couple of years. I mean, that's literally what you do now, is you help people that went through what you went through get on the other side of it and make it through those first couple of years, or really first couple of months. You've got it down now, and I can't wait to get into it. You've got an onboarding and trading down to a couple of months where it took you a couple of years. Yeah. So you used your past to expedite other people's future, which is what we always talk about. So let's talk about some of the good times now. Okay.
We can do that.
Yeah, we can start talking about the good times, lighten it up in here. You start coming out on the other side of things, and you start getting some momentum and success. Talk us through what happened there and what the difference was.
Yeah, I mean, biggest thing. So, I'm sure I know there's gonna be other hard times in my life. Obviously, I know there will. But one of the things I almost think about it every single day. Can't be worse than it was.
Yep.
So, I always just like to have a positive mindset, going into a day or going into a week, whatever it is, and trying to really try and push that off onto others as well. I'd say that's the biggest thing. So when we come into that and it's like, okay, things can't get worse. So even if let's say I'm running an appointment, maybe it doesn't go the way I want to. I'm like, okay, could be worse. I'm like, on to the next one. So that mindset right there alone has helped as far as that goes. Let's see, I'm trying to think.
I mean, and to frame it here, I mean, You went from being somewhat of an average agent to being a top agent and a top producer and doing it at a high level. I mean, over the last couple of years, you've won numerous awards, you've been on numerous trips, and you've ascended through our company into leadership and now oversee onboarding and training. I mean, what are some of the key lessons you learned over the last couple of years as you're getting through adversity or getting through a momentum, or what are some things that you would tell a new agent or an agent that's struggling out there that helped you really get to that next level?
Yeah. Part of it is you have to be like bought in. So like, again, when I decided to like flip that switch, right? And one of the biggest things I always joke about it, like nobody thinks they're going to go in and sell Medicare insurance, but like, I'm like, okay, when I'm bought in, I'm like, I'm sitting there in my bed, like before I go to sleep, and I'm like reading about Medicare, and I'm like, oh, that's good. Like, that's good to know. I can use that and can use that to like kind of help sell some of the things that we're talking about. And so I completely just dove in and infused myself with just anything Medicare, like trying to learn everything I can.
Yeah.
So continual learning is such a huge benefit. But then I would say the biggest piece of advice is get around someone that can help you do it, and that's been there and that can help you learn quickly and then get through to that other side that we keep talking about. Doing it alone, it's got to be very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So getting around maybe not just one, but like multiple people that can help you get to that other side.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was a big turning point. It was just me, you, and Jack for a while, and then once our team started expanding, we started bringing on broker downlines. I mean, partners and all these different things. Is you just have so many people around you, and the bar continually raises, because when you see somebody doing something, you know that's the new target, and you develop new things, you share new ideas, and this is a very lonely industry at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And what we've developed, and the team that you're now a part of, I mean, that makes it a lot easier, is when you have people to feed off of and do more off of.
Oh, yeah.
So now you've kind of ascended through the ranks. You became a top producer, and really you're transitioning out of personal sales this year after doing it for a high level for many years. You onboarded several agents this year. We're about to interview one of them, Devin. We've got multiple agents this year, pacing well over $300,000 in revenue. So to map that out for somebody, we track revenue. We track apps too. A lot of these agents are pacing well over 600, 700, 800 apps, but they're doing $300,000 or more of revenue coming into the agency. And you've onboarded and trained a lot of those, and they're doing that in a very short amount of time. We have new agents coming in that are hitting $20,000 months within 3 months. Why is that?
Yeah, my biggest thing when we bring these guys in and I want to start teaching and training.
And girls. We have guys and girls, plenty of them.
Guys and gals. Yeah, sorry about that. Is confidence with clarity. Yeah. So there's like a specific way I like to teach on Medicare, and then on what we do, and then how we go about doing it that way. So I think that the way that I'm doing that, again, is like looking at things big picture, and then here's how things work. Here's like what different exposures are. Here's what the options are for people when they are starting Medicare. And then here's, again, even with those, what gaps do they have? How does that actually work? And then here's the solution to it. So what's our problem to help them fix that? And so just going through that specific process and those things, and now they understand just big picture, and then really narrowing down on like the details of that. So it's like starting big picture, and it's like, here's what it is, how it works, here's how we do it, why we do it, and then getting in on the details on those things. Yeah.
So walk me through. You have a very specific, just as quick as you can here, elevator pitch on a 2-week onboarding for an agent. Like, how quickly do you want them selling, and what are you doing in the first 2 weeks for a brand new agent?
Yeah. First thing, I always talk about it on our calls too. The first thing I do is I teach them our sales appointment process, because you can know as much as you want about Medicare, but if you can't run an appointment properly, you're not going to close anything. So that's the first thing I teach on. How do we run an appointment? And what's our process for that? Once we go through that, then I go through what's called a Medicare boot camp. We do that.
And you have one of those coming up in a couple months, right? Yeah, Medicare U.
Medicare U. Yep. So doing a Medicare U.
And how long does that typically take?
4 to 5 hours probably.
4 to 5 hours. So nothing overly exorbitant, but it's just in the weeds, Medicare, Medicare breakdown, Medicare presentations, and learning Medicare from top to bottom.
Yep. Yeah.
And you believe that within a week of putting somebody through Medicare U and getting them through our appointment process, you have a great frame, and they're pretty close to getting ready.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And so about a week and a half, I'd say.
Okay. So appointment process, Medicare U, then what?
Then it's a lot of role playing. So I like to go through different scenarios where I know what the client should have. So I'm gonna role play with that with our agent, make sure they can get through our appointment process, hit all the boxes that I want them to hit, and then see what they're going to do as far as a recommendation goes for that client. And I usually go through 3 different scenarios to see how they can pivot to different clients and different. Ultimately, it's going to end up being a different product for each different scenario.
So you're taking them through role play scenarios, making them position different products, different scenarios. How quickly are you getting them in live situations?
Probably after that. I mean, after that first week.
Yeah.
We want them. I want them having conversations as soon as I feel like they're ready, and then ultimately one of our biggest training tools is giving them feedback on those calls. Hey, instead of saying this, say this. This is how you should have handled it. We can use those call recordings. They're super valuable for training purposes. Yeah.
So I had a call with an agent yesterday. He had 2 agents, and he said, Chase, he said, I did 500 apps in AEP, and he's like, I don't cross-sell, but I did 500 apps, and he's like, I got 2 agents, and they just can't close. What would you tell that agent?
Yeah. The agents that can't close?
What would you tell that agency owner if you were talking to him, and he said, hey, I'm doing 500 apps. He's like, I do great, but he's like, my agents, they're just not like me. They can't close.
Yeah. I think what I would say is come to Coach G first off. But there is, I think when it's a closing issue, there's a missing link somewhere as far as I always think when you understand and you're very clear on how things are working, then you have all this confidence, right? And so you have confidence in how things work, how the products work, and then ultimately you have confidence in what's going to be the best thing for the client. And when you have that confidence, it should rub off on the client that you have that confidence, and naturally, even if you're not a good salesperson, your closing rate should increase from confidence and clarity.
We always say confidence equals to clarity, clarity equals conviction, conviction equals closes.
There we go.
Yep, so it works its way down the ladder. So talk to us a little bit about leadership now. I mean, you're working with a lot of our external partners, so you hold private trainings for our big partnerships with multiple agents and downlines and LOAs and all that. You oversee our internal team. What has been the biggest challenge for you over the last year of really leading a lot of people and having a lot of mentorship?
Yeah. I'd say my biggest challenge, first off, it's really fun getting to know a lot of different people from across the country.
Yeah.
I'd say my biggest challenge is trying to really figure out, okay, so how are they running things right now, and what can I do to help, maybe tweak something with their process, something with their sales process, and where can I do that at, and how. So like learning what they're doing and what system they're using, and then it's like pinpointing, okay, here, let's tweak that. Challenge, but it's a fun challenge.
Is that typically what it is? Just a small tweak equals to big results?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a small tweak, and it could even be the order of things they're doing something in. Yeah. It's like, hey, instead of doing that here, let's put a few things in front of that. Let's build up some things, and then transition this way. It's every scenario is a little different.
Yeah. What do you think the most common couple things or main thing that you've seen this year in terms of like what agencies are doing wrong when it comes to selling, training, and all those things?
Yeah. Couple of things. So one, it's like a very simple thing. We talk about it all the time, but you want to make sure that the client is clear on what they want to get out of out of an appointment,
Oh,
right?
yep.
If I come in, I joke about it all the time, but it's like if I were to go into a supplement store and I walk in and the guy just starts offering me XYZ product off the shelf and he hasn't asked me a question. He doesn't know what I want to, like, he doesn't even know why I'm in the store.
Pushing his narrative.
Yeah. He just is pushing what he wants to sell. Well, I'm not going to buy anything. He has no idea what I want. So there's so many things you can compare to what we do. And so making sure that client is feeling understood is such a huge deal. You know, make sure that they get the questions answered that they want.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of transition that into whatever your education or presentation is going to be for that specific situation. But making sure clients feel heard and feel understood is such a huge deal. And then I'd say probably another very common thing is they're just not offering correct, I hate the word product, but the correct insurance products.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of different exposures out there, and people, some agents, they think that just Medicare is this all-encompassing, like 100% coverage insurance, and that's just not the case. So when you're not offering those products or those solutions, you're doing your client a disservice. So really trying to help educate on what those are and how those work and how those can fit into your portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. We talk about it all the time. If you don't know what your client wants to get out of the appointment or your prospect wants to get out of the appointment, you're never going to sell at a high level. So that's the most important thing we talk about, is understanding what's important to them and verbalizing that to them. And then having the proper product. I mean, we see so many agencies that aren't offering multiple products. And it's like, we're offering cancer, heart, and stroke. We're offering assisted living care, short-term care. We're offering hospital coverage. And I use that example all the time. If you came to me and someone you loved had a cancer and you said, hey, Chase, do you have cancer insurance? And I said yes. And you said, hey, why didn't you offer it to my loved one? Well, that's a position you don't want to be in. So the main thing that we see is people don't even offer the things that you should be offering because they don't know how to offer it.
Yeah.
And that's a huge gap that we solve. So you're leading training now on the Coach G platform. You're leading it Monday through Thursday, because we train every single day in our internal agency, and we brought that to the market. We want to make sure that everybody has the capability to train every single day. Talk to us about your everyday trainings. What's that like when I come to a Travis Goveia Huddle call and get trained?
Yeah. So especially transitioning into 2026. So each day, I think I'm going to have it's going to be a different kind of theme, if you will, for each day. And one of those things, so we're going to do call recordings from our internal team.
Which are always juicy.
Yep.
Because they don't always do things right, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They sell at a high level, but they screw up.
Yep. And then, again, I always say call recordings, it's a great teaching tool for other agents, but it's also a great training tool for our internal team.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to audit certain things as well. So we're going to do call recordings. There's going to be a day where we're really just going to focus on role playing. And I think that is such a huge missing piece for a lot of people, especially solo agents.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, because, who are they going to sit, like with us, we have team members you can practice with and you can role play with all the time. But as a solo agent, who are you necessarily
Such a good point.
practicing with and role playing with? So during those, we really focus on transitions that we like to use, terminologies we like to use, objection handling, just a lot of different things and then how are we transitioning from certain parts of our appointment process? I know a lot of people can get hung up on that. Another day, and then a different day is going to be just in-depth product knowledge. So it could be specific ancillary products. It could be specific carriers. We could focus on Medicare supplements one day, focus on Medicare Advantage plans one day, and how programs are working as a whole right now. So, and then the fourth day will be, again, kind of more like beginning in the Medicare sales. So really, what are the things you need to be focusing on? How are we going to master our sales process? How are you going to master your appointment flow and get the most out of every single appointment that you have?
Yeah, foundational sales process and all that.
Yep.
And for those that don't know, our target is we want every Medicare appointment to end up in $1,500 or more in revenue per new Medicare client. So that's what we're teaching people to do. That's what we deem as optimized, and those are the things that we look for. So you're transitioning, like I said, to out of individual sales. You're really overseeing our partnerships. I mean, I watched you this year take several organizations that had a big downline, had 10, 20, 50 brokers, whatever, and now they're spitting out thousands of extra applications in the ancillary side. So you'll be doing a lot of that this year, working with partnerships, working with our internal team. Talk to us a little bit about, you're at A right now, okay? So you're the national sales director. You've got a big role for us. I mean, you're right there at the top of the company. What does B look like for you, and what is your desired destination?
Yeah, so it's really funny. I don't know if I know exactly where B is, but what I can tell you is the thing that I'm really excited about and being in the position that I'm in right now is, ultimately, we talked about it earlier. My biggest goal is I want people to see the success that you had that we're having right now. I want them to have that as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to have to go through like that, the low side of this business, because if you can ride it out and you can make it through to the other side, this business is going to do incredible things for you.
Yeah.
So my goal is to get people on that other side as fast as possible and doing it the correct way. And ultimately, when I think about that, the Medicare industry in itself, I mean, there's so many people turning 65 still every single day. I think it's like 11,000 people turning 65 every single day. And they need help, they need educated. And so I look at it in a sense where I can help. I'm not only helping our internal team, I'm helping other agencies, really bring that education to the consumers that they're helping, doing it the right way. And ultimately, you're going to be, when you think of it from a big picture aspect, we're helping thousands and thousands and thousands of seniors that are getting protected the correct way, getting educated the correct way. So it's really cool. And then just
by us helping agents, we're actually helping the consumer at the end of the day. Yeah. So that's really exciting. But personally, let's talk personally. What does personal success, personal B goals look like for you?
Yeah.
Financially, your life's in a lot different place right now. You're having a lot of financial success. You're having a lot of personal success. I mean, what more does that look like? You got a new baby coming.
Baby's coming. Yeah. We're super excited about the baby, and I always joke. I mean, we're gonna see how she's doing after the first one, but I'm like, we think we want four kids.
Have one. See how that goes.
Yeah. Yep. So that's what everyone keeps saying. So four kids, and then really like end goal. I mean, Sarah, like for our family to be happy and healthy, and we're going to be, we're coming to Tennessee. We know we're going to be here, so that is a big goal for us. And then we love. I mean, it's obviously going to be a lot more difficult, but we love traveling.
Yeah.
We love traveling, so we'll see how we can.
You'll make it work. You'll make it
work with the little ones, but I mean, ultimately, I would say like just being happy and being here in Tennessee is that's the thing we're focused on right now. And
that's B. Yeah, that's B. Getting to Tennessee, being happy, and
then we'll see what C is.
Yep. And it keeps moving. Yeah. So fire around here as we wrap up.
Okay.
Who are some big mentors in your life? Can't say me. Who are some big mentors in your life?
So I already mentioned Coach Roop's a huge one for me. Yeah. And then honestly, like, look up to my dad a lot, and don't have not like the closest with my dad, but it's just like watching from afar work ethic and just like the discipline things that he instilled in us growing up. It's a huge deal. My brothers, I do look up to all my brothers, whether they know it or not. Those are all big ones. And then as far as I'm trying to think of like an outside, like someone I don't actually know. Yeah. That was a pretty big, but I will say I'm a big Gary Vee guy. Yeah. We talk about positivity all the time. I think I get that from Gary Vee. So listen to Gary Vee, listen to his podcast, read his books. So
yeah, cool. What are you most proud of to this point?
My wife is my best sale I've ever had.
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
We're gonna go hang out with them here in an hour.
Yeah. So
it'll be fun.
That's I'd say that's probably definitely the thing I'm most proud of.
Yeah, she'll be happy to hear that one when
Yeah.
she watches this back. That's good. And is there anything that keeps you up at night? Anything that worries you, keeps you up?
Not doing enough. Am I doing enough?
Yeah.
That question keeps me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. When you're in a leadership position, I mean, it's a tough one. I care way more about the satisfaction of our partners and employees and making sure that they're hitting their goals and doing their things. It definitely drives you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's so many. Am I doing enough for clients? Am I doing enough for our internal team? Am I doing enough for? Yeah. Always. Mine's always working.
Yeah. And then one other thing here. So Morgan Wallen, he has that walkout where he brings out a famous person to his concerts. If you had your walkout right now, who's walking out with you? Could be as many people as you want in a concert.
Right now.
Yeah. Walking out to the main stage.
Yeah. It's gonna be a Chicago Bears football player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think my favorite Bears player right now. He hasn't even got to play much this year. But
Yeah.
Kyler Gordon.
If
you know Kyler Gordon,
you're walking out with a random Bears player.
Yep.
Love it. Okay.
There we go.
Big Bears game tonight.
I'm a huge Bears fan. Huge game tonight. Going for first place.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Kyler Gordon's nickname is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Okay. There we go.
Love it. You mentioned Gary Vee on some books, podcasts, all that different stuff. What's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Anything that sticks out?
Gosh, you put me on the spot like that. I wish you would have prepared me.
Prompt you? Yeah, we don't do that here.
No. Best piece of advice. Yeah, I'll think of it probably here in 10 minutes, but I don't know if I can.
Well, let's wrap it up with this. So what's some advice you would give out to not just an insurance agent, but somebody struggling like you did over that course of time? And now you're on that other side. You're probably doing better personally, professionally than you ever thought you could have. You've got everything going right now. So what would you give advice to somebody that's in your position or wasn't in your position?
Yeah, my biggest thing, and I talk about this all the time, but when I work on fix yourself, right, or work on yourself, and especially if you're someone in a leadership position. So I know, we've had this vision of building a company, right, for a while now, and I told myself, or I didn't tell myself, I was really thinking to myself one day, I'm like, how can I lead other people if I can't lead myself?
Yep.
And so it all starts with that. And and when I naturally when that started changing for me, that's when good things started happening. And so I look at it, I'm like, fix yourself, work on yourself, lead yourself. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, we'll wrap up with that. I love that. Lead yourself, fix yourself. If you want to lead other people, you need to be able to lead yourself. Love it, brother. This was awesome. The bull rider in the house. Love you, brother.